All right, so continuing with SQL or SQL, we're going to talk about wildcards right now, concatenating fields. Concatenating just basically means to put two things together. Performing mathematical operations, certain functions that you would find, aggregating statistics, distinct and group by, right? Not sure if all of this is going to be in this one video, but we'll do as much as we can. All these notes are there as well, but when I created this, I created it mainly for SQL Server. So there may be slight little differences in Postgres, but we'll basically come across them as we go along. So in SQL, you are allowed to filter data through wildcards. So sometimes you will not exactly know you will not exactly know the actual value you're looking for. For instance, you may not know that the last name you're looking for is Adams. Maybe you're looking for Adam or Adams or Atoms or something like that, right? What you can do is you can use wildcards to try and get a search that is as similar as possible and try to retrieve these type of records. So what we'll do here is we'll go through wildcards. So if it is that, let's say you wanted to basically get, let's say you wanted to get all of the customer with first name that has something ending with NN, right? So you'll do select star from customer. We have the customer table where first underscore name, and you use like in this case, and here you would put in what is known as a percentage, right? Now the percentage, what it stands for, would basically give you anything with the name NN in it. Anything with NN that basically ends it, right? So if we run this, you should see that it gives us an. Okay, so it gives us that one character an, but that's because we don't have anything else, any other name, right? So let's just demonstrate this again. If I were to do select star from customer, if I were to demonstrate this again, let's see if we can do, let's say we want anything that ends any last name that ends with S, right? So utilizing this exact same query, and I say last name in this case, then what I can do is I can change this up, last name ends with, and I'll keep the percentage, and let me do S in this case. Now what it will do is that it would retrieve everyone who has a last name that ends with S, and it doesn't matter how many characters we have before that. Like for instance, Adams have 1, 2, 3, 4 characters, Samuels have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 characters, and so on. So the percentage basically symbolizes anything. It could be any number, all right? It doesn't specify the number of characters, it's just anything in this case. So let's say we wanted to see the results, or see the parts that start with dot, right? So if we do this, we can do select star from part table, where the part underscore description like, and in this case we'll do dot because we want anything with dot in it, and we'll do a percentage as well. All right, so if we do this, we don't actually get anything, and the reason we don't get anything is because I believe the dot is capital letter, and this actually I believe does matter. Yeah, so it does matter in Postgres, But if I remember correctly, in SQL Server, it did not matter. The capitalization inside of the quotations didn't matter. But in Postgres, it does. At the very least, it matters here, right? Now, let's look at the part table again, just so that we can demonstrate a few things. So select star from part. And when I look at the part table, if let's say we look at, let's say board, right? So we have board over here. If, for instance, we were to change this query up, let me copy and paste it. And instead of dot, let's say we had the percentage and we did board, all right? Now we do have board here, dot board. We'll get an error, and the reason for that is because we have no record which has board first and something after it, right? So you'll get an error. If we were to do, let's say, ER in this case, right, we should get that gas griller, as well as the corn popper and the washer. Gas griller, should we have gotten, one second, let me see how that's spelled. Gas grill. Okay, sorry, if we did LL in this case, right? So it doesn't matter if it has spaces and everything like that in it, you'll still see it. Ball, grill, treadmill, and so on. So where you put the percentage matters. So likewise, let's say we wanted to get, let's say we were not sure about something and we wanted to select the parts that had TB somewhere inside. So somewhere inside the word. It's not, TB doesn't start at the beginning of the word and it doesn't start at the end of the word, right? So that should be, if we look at the overall thing, so if we look for TB somewhere, right? So TB is basketball over here, right? But let's say we didn't know the value basketball. We just knew that we wanted something that has TB in it. Then we can do select star from part where part underscore description like percentage sign, so everything that comes before, let's put a TB as well and another percentage sign. So now it should give us basketball because TB sat somewhere in the middle over there, right? And it also gives us dartboard as well because that also has TB there as well. So let's also do something with the let's also do any customer. Let's say we wanted any customer that starts with a C and ends with an S. So if we do this, select star from customer, let's just run the customer table just so we can see who that would be. So that should give us Charles, right? We're looking for the last name. So Charles, for instance, should give us this as well as, well, only Charles. Where the last underscore name like C percentage S. And we run this. All right. Now I remember why this doesn't work, because we need that capital, we need this uppercase letter over here, this caps letter. So now we'll see it, Charles. All right. So the overall context behind this is that when you use the percentage sign, you're able to call upon data wherever you want. So you can call upon data if it's between, if it's before, if it's after, and so on. Now let's say you only wanted to specify a very specific number of characters. Then in this case, you can use the underscore to specify number of characters. Now, at least this works in SQL Server. I can't remember if it actually works in Postgres. So let's say we wanted to see, we want customer with customer number ending in 11. So we can do select star from customer where customer underscore number like underscore 11. All right, and this should give us Okay, it doesn't work. But if you were to use this in SQL Server, it would work. So here you can go through the notes, take a note of it, all right? But essentially the underscore doesn't work. I wonder if it's if I have to do like a there's another wildcard notation for it. Unless it's because I had, let me do this instead. I don't think this is actually gonna work, right? But let me just try it. Yeah, it doesn't work with the underscore, apparently doesn't work with Postgres, but if for SQL Server, it definitely works. Anyways, the whole point of it is if you did it in SQL Server and you did, let's say, underscore 11, what it would do is it would retrieve that value or that record that has 311 in it, because it is only looking for one character. All right, if we basically did, let's say, 2 underscores, then it would look for 2 wildcard characters, and this would be our one reference character. But again, that's how SQL Server works, and it does not actually do, I do actually have a note here, use wildcard for numbers, but in Postgres, it does not work. All right, so take note of it, because when you are using SQL in your everyday job, one of the things that you would have to deal with is you will be utilizing multiple database software. So the small little differences between SQL does have an impact. Similarly, I also had a note here that if you were to do like a bracket and you do CDMGZ percentage in SQL Server, it'll work. You can also do it before the bracket. In SQL Server, it will work, but it will not work in Postgres. All right. I think the searching or the matching for Postgres is a little bit less than what SQL Server would do. And I'm not sure if it will work the same way for Oracle and others, right? But essentially, this is basically how you would do wildcards. So I guess rather than me going on straight to concatenating fields, let me do that in another video.